a say that was said.
Your Excellencies, heads of states, heads of governments, heads of delegations, ladies and gentlemen, would like to welcome you once again in the Comesa Summit 21 in Egypt. And now we're starting the session. I'll give the floor to the moderator, Mr. Gabriel Masuko, head of the Legal Affairs Department of the Comesa. Please take the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. Excellencies, it is my pleasure to invite His Excellency Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab.
Thank you. In the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful, Your Excellency, President Andrea Ruggelini, the President of Madagascar, and the Chairperson of the Comesa Authority, Your Excellencies, heads of states of the Comesa, Your Excellency, the SG, Chilechi Kapwepe, representatives of international organizations and regional organizations, ladies and gentlemen. The global and regional economy had witnessed so many developments since our last summit of the Comesa in 2018 in Lusaka. The ACFTA started or got into force after that, and also along the development and progress in the region witnessed so many challenges in the region and the whole world due to the COVID-19. Despite all these strenuous and concerted efforts at all levels, global, regional and national levels, to face this pandemic, but the region is still suffering from its negative effects. The recovery process is pretty slow. And this means this summit is shouldering so many responsibilities. That's why all of us should work hard and have concerted efforts to face those challenges. And this is embodied in the slogan of the summit, which is strengthening resilience through economic, digital and strategic integration. In addition to the direct effect of pandemic on the health and lives of citizens, it also affected all sorts of economic sectors and also the business environment in member states, and regional supply and demand are lagging behind, and they are affected by that, by the global slowness, and this affected the supply chains of all sorts of products. And due to all these challenges and due to the important role assumed by Comesa as an economic regional bloc, it aims to achieving sustainable development for all member states. Egypt set out its vision for the sake of deepening all sorts of affairs and business in the region to accelerate the economic recovery due to the coronavirus. Egypt believes that encouraging business affairs in its comprehensive concepts as investments, business and production is going to contribute in accelerating the process of recovery. Here, we all have a common responsibility to do that. We, as heads and states of the region, we need to set out our policies and plans through the Comesa to have urgent steps and to encourage private sector and business sectors and to have more horizons of business in the region. This would contribute in encouraging regional and national demand and having more production. That is going to have a positive effect on the employment rates and living standards of citizens in member states. That's why the Egyptian vision for the chairmanship of the Comesa is looking forward to propose so many initiatives to deepen the integration at the different priority economic sectors among member states at the short term and medium term. Allow me to give you the main features of our chairmanship as Egypt as follows. First, as for the trade and regional integration and bridging barriers, we believe in the importance of continental and economic integration, and we're always looking forward and keen on having more intra-trade. And since we acceded to the Comesa, we have been implementing the agreed any kind of custom barriers under the reciprocal treatment basis. And we're looking forward to coordinate with the Secretariat and Member States, work hard on overcoming any kind of obstacles against getting the required exemptions among Member States in this regard. We proposed having a mechanism for the revision of trade policies of Member States on a regular basis. And this is going to contribute in their active participation and to apply the custom advantages within the FTA of the Comesa. And Egypt is going to work hard on following it up in coordination with Member States and the Secretariat. Egypt is going to give humongous importance to strengthening continental integration through the ACFTA and to make use of the progress achieved so far at the level of the regional integration of the Comesa and to support the integration with the three blocks, the Comesa, ECA and SADC. And also to work hard encouraging the signatures on the FTA for the three blocks to endorse the treaty and to put it into force. Second, the industrial integration. Certainly, our cooperation towards the increase of intertrade requires more production and cooperation in the different industrial sectors and to make use of the available resources of Member States and its competitive ability to increase the industrial production, particularly under the challenges imposed by COVID-19, which had affected the supply chains at the regional and international levels. Certainly, this pandemic is going to structure those chains according to the ability of economic recovery in Member States and according to the advantages and any kind of privileges available, and what can the Comesa use to deepen the industrial cooperation at all levels. And due to that, Egypt has prepared the regional industrial integration framework, and this is in line with the MTSP and also the African agenda till 2063. The purpose of that is to participate with the Member States and the Comesa set out an action plan to achieve this industrial integration to increase production under the slogan of Made in Comesa. This initiative aims to examine the resources available at Member States and also to check any kind of advantages and also to merge all sorts of targeted industries in those supply chains. I'd like to call on the heads of states and the Comesa Secretariat to use this initiative and set out an action plan at the short term and at the long term to support the industrial sector and also the business sector of the Comesa. And also integration at the level of infrastructure. Egypt is keen on strengthening its cooperation with Member States and the Secretariat and its institutions to push forward this economic integration at the different levels of infrastructure sectors, particularly transportation, energy, communication, IT. Egypt had achieved a leap forward in this regard recently. and it's fully ready to cooperate with the sisterly nations of the Comesa to exchange experience and to strengthen all sorts of mutual cooperation, all these sectors, bearing in mind the importance of the infrastructure integration in the region to ensure the strengthening of intertrade and the movement of products, commodities, and also its production elements. Egypt is going to work hard and cooperate with the Secretariat and Member States hands in hands to support the land corridors and projects, particularly Cairo-Cape Town corridor that passes through most of the Member States. And Egypt is going to work hard on complementing all sorts of efforts to complete the examination of having the Victoria Lakes and the Mediterranean as one of projects, ambitious projects for a land corridor to have more movement among countries in the region. Egypt is going to work hard on providing its experiences in the area of energy and transportation to all member states, and also to encourage all sorts of initiatives to face any kind of challenges in member states due to the energy insufficiency. Fourth, to encourage the flow of investments in the region. The attraction of investments and encouraging it in the Comesa requires exerting more efforts by member states and the Secretariat to make use of the unique potentials in the Comesa member states in this regard. We have noticed that the insufficient data for the investment opportunities is an obstacle that impedes the development of investments in the region. That's why Egypt is working hard on supporting and developing the Secretariat to cooperate with member states to prepare a clear list of investment opportunities and to be presented to the business sector and to financing institutions to make sure that we implement it. That would contribute to increasing economic growth rates and to provide more job opportunities and employment in the region. 5, the integration in the healthcare sector. The COVID-19 emphasized the importance of working hands in hands and cooperation with the region to face this challenge and to maintain the health of our citizens. That's why Egypt believes it's important that the Comesa would examine that, and this should be urgently done, and to work hard on putting out a clear plan to have region integration in this sector, in addition to harmonizing the national policies to ensure implementing those healthcare policies among member states. We should all work hard towards the future to increase the awareness among citizens in the region, to make use of the vaccinations of corona to ensure that it doesn't spread out in the region. 6, to encourage the business sector in the Comesa. This business sector and community is also makes use and benefits from the treaty, and it's a fundamental and important sector. Comesa focuses on overcoming any obstacles against business affairs in the region. Egypt believes that the integration in this sector is very important to accelerate the process of recovery from the coronavirus. To achieve that, Egypt is going to work hard during its chairmanship to encourage all sorts of initiatives that will contribute to have a conducive business environment, particularly initiatives aiming to digital transformation and economic inclusiveness for SMEs. And also all sorts of initiatives aiming to encourage in the participation of women, businesswomen, in the process of economic integration, in addition to encouraging the intra-investments for the private sector in the different production sectors. Egypt is going to work hard during its chairmanship to increase the engagement of the Egyptian business sector with their peers in the member states to benefit from the advantages provided by the treaties to the Egyptian companies and companies in the other member states, and to work hard in developing intra-trade in the region according to the reciprocal benefit principle. And this is for the interest of everybody. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I believe, and I'm sure, that the Comesa has the ability, resources, and capacities that gives it a chance and ability to overcome the current challenges imposed by the COVID-19 and to work forward towards the economic integration. Egypt is pleased to assume the chairmanship of the Comesa at this particular time and to work hands in hands with all sorts of parties to overcome any kind of obstacles and to make use of all sorts of available opportunities to accelerate the recovery from the pandemic of COVID-19, implementing our vision to push forward economic integration through the chairmanship of our Comesa will only be implemented through mutual cooperation among member states and the Secretariat and its institutions and the development partners. That's why I'd like to invite you all to work together to encourage the business sector and the Comesa and to overcome any kind of current challenges. And this is going to have a positive impact on the living standards and prosperity of our peoples. In conclusion, I'd like to extend once again my wholeheartedly thanks for your confidence in Egypt to chair the Comesa in the upcoming stage. And I invoke God to help us all, and we'd all succeed in this mission. And this is for the benefit of all our peoples. And thank you for listening in. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, your summit shall now be receiving statements by heads of state and government. By way of appeal, may I request that each statement as it is being rendered, it be limited to a duration of 5 minutes. It is my honor and privilege to welcome a statement from Tunisia. Thank you, Excellencies.
You are mute, sir.
فخامة الرئيس
Your Excellency, President,
Your Excellency, Mr. Chairman, President, my dear brother, the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the President of Egypt, the Comesa SG, Mrs. Chilechi Kapwepwe, Your Excellencies, probably we have different time zones, and probably we have so many long distances between us, but we are unified by our objectives and our dreams, and they're all common dreams. At the outset, I'd like to extend my wholeheartedly thanks and appreciation to the President of Madagascar for his continuous efforts during his chairmanship of the Comesa. And I'd like to extend my congratulations to the President of Egypt, Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, for his incoming chairmanship. It already started today, and I'd like to express that I really appreciate and really proud to participate in the Comesa Summit 21 for the heads of states and of the Comesa. It is the first participation for Tunisia in the summit of Comesa as a member of the Comesa. It is an esteemed organization. It has noble objectives. under the chairmanship now of Mr. Sisi. And on this occasion, I'd like to announce that Egypt is keen on establishing and deepening the regional integration and to foster cooperation between the South-South cooperation. And Tunisia is ready to actively contribute to have more cooperation and partnership with all the member states of the Comesa and the south and east of the region. That would certainly help in having a real integration among our member states and to have an economic integration and all sorts of integration. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, our continent, our African continent, had witnessed so many problems and crises, and our peoples have suffered for so many famines and pains. Now it's time that we examine the causes of burying our dreams at some point in history. And we need to think about lifting our continent from any kinds of circumstances. And probably by examining those causes and examining those current circumstances for African peoples, and probably the reasons behind that is not having common action, and also due to the absence of unified objectives. Once again, I repeat what I said previously. Africa should be for Africans. And it should be a point of attraction for investments. Africa is for Africans. And this noble principle is well established. And this has been a dream for a generation after another. And we can only achieve that by having common work and action, a strong determination, a unified common determination to achieve our common objectives. We have huge dreams. And certainly we have so many good potentials. We need to work hard together and hands in hands to move from the stage of pains to the stage of hopes. Tunisia emphasized the importance of knowledge and technology transfer and to strengthen the abilities of African peoples in different areas, particularly the new modern technologies, because it was going to help us in leaping forward and accelerate our process towards the future. Tunisia calls for the strengthening a digital economy and smart communities under the umbrella of the Comesa. So this kind of transformation is going to be a momentum to having a new level of comprehensive and sustainable growth. This is certainly is going to make use of our abilities, and have so many of it. We have the abilities of African youth, and to engage them in the socio-economic integration in the region and in the continent. Tunisia emphasizes once again the importance is that we need to move forward towards green economy. From Green Tunisia, we're calling for the green economy through the investments in clean and renewable energy, and to encourage the different projects and initiatives in this area. That's going to help us to face any kind of climate change and to contain its effects and impact. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Tunisia is looking forward to strengthening cooperation and partnership with member states of the Comesa, so that we can all achieve our people's aspirations, bearing in mind that we're looking forward for a real sustainable development in the region and to have peace and security in the region, and to encourage economic integration and intertrade, and to create a new city, new roads and routes towards development, investments. I'd like to reiterate and emphasize that Tunisia is fully ready to get engaged in setting out common approaches to achieve all that, and to support all sorts of initiatives in this area and along this line. On the other hand, because we believe in peace and security and that they're important in achieving development and stability in the region, and to employ the African experiences in this regard, Tunisia is nominating itself as a candidate to the Peace and Security Council at the AU. We're all looking forward to building a new page of history, making use of our potentials, abilities, and determination and persistence to achieve our objectives and to achieve our aspirations as an African continent. I'd like to reiterate what I said, that Tunisia, is fully ready to get engaged in any action and that would aim to strengthen our mutual relations and to have strong and well-established partnerships with member states, and to have a full-fledged integration, an economic integration, a real one, to fulfill the aspirations of African people for the sake of security, stability, and progress. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, it is my honor and privilege to invite a statement from the Republic of Madagascar. Madagascar, you have the floor, please.
Your Excellency, Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and incoming Chairman of Comesa, Excellency, dear heads of states and governments, SG of the Comesa, ladies and gentlemen of the audience. This is 3 years on after our last Lusaka meeting, but today we're meeting in this new city in Egypt, hosting the 21st Comesa Summit. I would like to seize this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation and gratitude to President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for the Egyptian people for the very warm welcome we have all witnessed. This summit is truly important. After 2 years of lockdown and a lot of virtual work, I would like to thank those who have come here to attend this meeting on site. This certainly confirms how engaged you are vis-à-vis the Comesa. And I would like to salute also those heads of states who are meeting us on a virtual platform. I would like to thank you for all the support that you have granted Madagascar over the 3 years that have elapsed. Nothing that could have happened could have been here without your support and your unconditional commitment to bring this. And I would like to particularly thank the Arab Republic of Egypt as vice chairman during these 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, we are just closing a very negative couple of years that have been the result or the sequels of the COVID-19. 255 million people have lost their jobs, and the entire the global economy is suffering, and there are social implications that are really drastic, and this has hit all of us with several repercussions that have been probably unexpected by now. But I would like to tell you that we have also seen historic rises and a terrible inflation in food and in foodstuff, including staple food. This will certainly have and has already had several social implications and impacts. There are lots of lessons that we need to draw on this. Mainly that we need to be more and more creative to go into a digital transformation thanks to technology today. The world didn't stop, but also I can tell you that many companies and enterprises have been progressing forward thanks to the availability of technology and by using common strategies to fight against COVID-19 pandemic. The importance of technology cannot be praised enough. And if we are going to talk about facing the immediate challenges, especially social aspects, health, education, and the e-payment of several households that I have personally witnessed in my own country. Practically speaking, the very logo of this summit is about building resilience around digital transformation. This is certainly a very pertinent and a very opportune objective. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are going to build a regional economy, this is certainly part of our common goal and common objectives. But this needs a leadership that needs to facilitate more digital transformation and better interactions at the level of different markets. Several efforts have been deployed in the Comesa region to make this Comesa a true reality on the ground. However, I must admit, we're still far from having a proper dig deep enough to get enough results and positive results from this. The crisis has shown a very big potential for digital transformation. It is high time that we should put these transformations into practice at every level of our daily life and to give a true Pan-African dimension to this. Let us all bet on regional common strategies that will allow us to look into the post-COVID area, because thanks to digital transformation, today's world is becoming a world totally borderless. We are totally connected, and this is certainly a fantastic opportunity for trade, and especially online trade and digital solutions that are possible. Ladies and gentlemen, I am hereby expressing my joy and happiness that progress that has been achieved by Comesa has enabled to implement platforms, e-platforms that have proved to be very successful. This will certainly come to the help of small and medium enterprises and small traders, and this will certainly allow them to go to venture into more aggressive trade and to cross borders thanks to these electronic platforms. I mean, with inter-African improving, there are also improved logistics. Our member states are now gathering to go towards a more homogeneous integration of digital transformation. During the Madagascar chairmanship, we have worked in a very narrow collaboration with every country in the region towards creating the true digital trades. Here, countries can innovate, can create, and coming up with opportunities that are truly a novelty to us. As more integration is coming into Comesa, it is possible today to predict a much better outlook for economic outgrowth. And today, I can tell you the industrial objectives of Comesa have been carefully adopted. And today we are in a transposition into development policies of member states, but to facilitate goods and services across the Comesa countries and reduce the cost of transactions. We have achieved major progress in the field of transportation. This has allowed us to reduce transit time and to better work on the various possibilities of opening transportation across countries and across borders. Unfortunately, COVID-19 has caused a major increase in transportation fares, and this has particularly affected the food industry, and this has had major impacts on many countries around the world, if not all countries. Your Excellency, as we are working on facing the challenges, our most major challenge remains funding. So if we really want Comesa to become a true tool for development, we need to think of better alternatives towards to financing opportunities. Dear brothers, dear sisters, and dear friends, before concluding, I would like once again express my gratitude and appreciation to everyone for all the support that you have shown to my country during 5 years of chairmanship. I would like to thank also the Council of Ministers that has given the policies, the boost that it was needed, and to the secretaries that have worked in due diligence to ensure that our objectives will be fulfilled. Prosperity of our countries is closely bound to the entire region. So it is an imperative that we should remain united and that we should work on shared inspiration. Here we are to build a better future and to come up with a fulfillment of the objectives in the best form. Ladies and gentlemen, as of today, the Arab Republic of Egypt will be holding the chairmanship of Comesa. Hereby, I would like to express all my best wishes of success to His Excellency President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who will be holding the reins of this great institution. Today, Madagascar has handed over its statute as chancellor, but we are hereby still committed to be a strong agent of change within our community. We are hereby lining with our brother and sister. Long live Comesa. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, it is my pleasure to welcome a statement from Burundi. I thank you.
21e sommet des
The 21st summit of Comesa. This is my first participation to this great event, and in the name of the Burundi people and the government of Burundi, and in my own name, I would like to address my warmest greetings to you all as participants who are attending this summit, whether physically or virtually. Your Excellency, the heads of states and governments, ladies and gentlemen, this is the first time in our organization that the heads of state are attending virtually. This is certainly very pertinent, as it shows how it is important that commercial and trade relations will be relying on digital transformation, and especially after the sequels of the COVID-19 pandemic. And this has certainly slowed much of our growth in unexpected ways. Our countries have suffered a strong economic shock, and this has certainly had its own impact on this community-based institution. And certainly these sequels are not an easy thing to get rid of. This will take time. So it is important to show our ability to build resilience, and in the face of this century-centered pandemic, as the pandemic is taking further proportions and dimensions, we have had a lot of trade that has suffered setbacks. But in conclusion, I would like to express my homage to Mr. André Hajarina, the President of the Republic of Madagascar, who has devotedly spent his time and efforts to make the Comesa still strive despite 5 years of chairmanship and despite the COVID-19 pandemic. I would also like to congratulate the President Abdel Fattah Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, for taking over the chairmanship of the Comesa. I wish you, Mr. President, a very great success in this noble mission, and I would like to tell you that your brothers in Burundi are hereby supported. Long live regional integration, and long live Comesa, and God bless you. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, it is my honor and privilege to welcome a statement from Libya. And may I appeal that we try and keep it within 5 minutes, Excellencies. Thank you.
Your Excellency, President of Arab Republic of Egypt, Abdel Fattah Sisi, and Chairman of the Summit. Your Excellency, André Rajoelina, President of Madagascar and Chairman of the previous mandate of Comesa. Your Excellencies and members of Comesa, Your Excellency, Secretary General of Comesa, Ms. Chilchi Kimpapui, distinguished attendees, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Libyan people, I would like to thank His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Sisi, President of the Republic of Egypt, and I would like to thank as well the Egyptians and the Egyptian people for having welcomed us and for their generosity. I would like to congratulate you, Your Excellency President Sisi, for assuming the chairmanship of Comesa during this summit that's being celebrated in Egypt. I wish prosperity and peace for all the member states of the Comesa. I would like also to thank and express my appreciation to His Excellency President of the Republic of Madagascar, André Rijolina, and the head or the chairman of the 20th Summit of Comesa. Thank you for accomplishing the objectives and the decisions of the Comesa. I would like also to express my appreciation to Ms. Chirishi Kimpapwipwi for her efforts and for the efforts of her team on all the levels of the Comesa, and thank you for the efforts exerted for the preparation of this summit, and that we wish it's going to be the key for the success and prosperity of the countries of this continent. Distinguished presidents, the Southern and Eastern Africa is now an emergency for us to achieve the stability and prosperity for its people. Your Excellencies, with no doubt, now we are working on resolving a lot of problems, and we have to start from this region. I would like to highlight directly the problem of the illegal migration that has exhausted the whole world and has exhausted Libya as a transit country. I would like to seize this opportunity to express clearly that preventing the waves of migrants through the taking the Mediterranean Sea, it should be a political solution, should be resolved politically, because we have to guarantee dignity for our peoples. And within this context, I would like to call upon the African Union and the economic communities to play a pivotal role in cooperation with Comesa to curb this phenomenon. And I would like to call upon the African Union as well to consolidate the sustainable development, to satisfy the needs of the youth of our continent, and to guarantee their future, the bright future. Within this context as well, I would like to highlight what was mentioned in the report of the 27th meeting of the Peace and Security Committee of Comesa to guarantee the stability and the peace in the region as key conditions to guarantee the development sustainably in this region. Your Excellencies, of course, we do not have lots of time to tackle all of our problems after the pandemic and the consequences that we have suffered from this pandemic, due to the fact that we are facing now high prices of the commodities, food commodities, and the food chains now as well are suffering due to the new economies that we are facing. Within this context, I would like to call upon the Secretariat and the Member States to continue building and consolidating the structures and take the logistics, the appropriate logistics that would facilitate the movement of the commodities within the region of Comesa to save time and to save prices. And would like also to call upon all of us to play a pivotal role to develop the agricultural methods and production methods through the reciprocal cooperation between all of us in all of our countries to guarantee the food security for the region. Your Excellency and distinguished attendees, Libya has always been supportive to the prosperity of the African continent and has contributed throughout the previous decades to the establishment of the African institutions, especially African Union, the Comesa, and We are now facing a transitional period that's very sensitive and critical for us, through which the Libyan people are deciding on their future. So we would like to the Comesa to play a pivotal role in achieving the stability in our country, because the stability of Libya on the political, social and economic level is going to help Libya to recover its role in all of the institutions and organizations and in the programs developed by the Comesa, for example, in the fields of transport, electricity, combating terrorism and crimes. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, Libya appreciates the efforts exerted by Comesa to combat the pandemic of COVID-19 in the member states in coordination with the African Center for Pandemics and Diseases that's affiliated to the African Union, and we would like to call for more efforts to be exerted to combat the pandemic that through its waves that are being faced now. And I would like to reiterate my thanks to our host, His Excellency President of Egypt, and the outgoing President and Chairman of the Comesa. And I would like to thank as well His Excellency President of Madagascar for his chairmanship in the last 5 years. And thank you for all the decisions and the efforts exerted despite the difficulties and the problems that we are currently facing and that we should be considering. And thank you so much, and peace be upon you all.
Thank you very much, Excellency. I have the honor to invite for a statement from Mauritius.
President of the Republic of Madagascar and Chairperson of the Comesa Authority, His Excellency Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt and incoming Chairperson of the Comesa Authority, Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, the Secretary General of the Comesa, distinguished delegates. Allow me first of all to congratulate His Excellency Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, as the incoming chairperson of the Comesa Authority. Let me also thank His Excellency Mr. Andry Rajoelina, the President of the Republic of Madagascar, for his sterling stewardship of our organization during these difficult times. The choice of the theme for this year's summit reflects our determination to find new and creative ways to adapt to the new normal which the COVID-19 pandemic has imposed upon us all. Building a stronger integrated regional digital economy is, in our view, the most fitted response to the challenge we are facing. It is one that has proven itself in developed economies and is capable of providing a business continuity that will revitalize our own economies and pave the way for sustainable growth and development. Excellencies, the pandemic is a global health tragedy which continues to have devastating and far-reaching effects on our healthcare systems, economies, and social life, and has caused hundreds of thousands of deaths. From September 2020 to September 2021, the Comesa region has seen an increase of 747% in the number of fatalities. Our economies have been severely impacted due to the inevitable lockdowns. Momentum gained through the establishment of the Comesa EAC SADC tripartite free trade area has lost its steam. Yet, with a combined estimated population of 800 million and $1.4 trillion gross domestic product, the tripartite free trade area has the potential to stimulate growth as well as boost trade and investment to ensure that our people are not left behind. Excellencies, even before the COVID-19 pandemic, Internet was transforming the world economy. And now, connectivity has become a prerequisite for national competitiveness in a digitalized world economy. Digitization of trade facilitation instruments for cross-border trading of goods and services can greatly enhance the speed and volume of trade. The implementation of the Comesa's Digital Free Trade Area Platform, electronic certificate of origin, customs automation, non-tariff barriers monitoring system, simplified trade regime, and yellow card scheme will go a long way in supporting cross-border trade in the region. I commend the Secretariat for developing the digital online platform for exchanging and sharing information on availability of essential products within the Comesa region. However, for these platforms to work, we need to ensure internet accessibility at affordable costs to every corner of our countries. We need also to address issues of cybersecurity and disinformation, which unfortunately come together with ICT development. Equally important will be the need for the youth of our region to develop and enhance their skills so that they can participate in the global economy. Excellencies, Mauritius welcomes the setting up of 50 million African Women Speak digital platform aimed at empowering women in Africa. I also welcome Comesa's new 2021-2025 medium-term strategic plan, which outlines the key strategic objectives in achieving our regional integration goals. I note with satisfaction the inclusion of the proposals made by Mauritius, highlighting the priorities of island states in areas of maritime, air and digital connectivity, climate change, and ocean economy. Excellencies, resilience building against pandemics will necessitate a readjustment of our industrialization strategy. We should endeavor to become self-sufficient in products of vital importance, such as vaccines. I congratulate Egypt for the production of the Sinovac vaccine. My government had issued an expression of interest for the development of a pharmaceutical industry and the setting up of a biotechnology plant in Mauritius. And we invited interested international companies with relevant experience and know-how to express their interest in such a venture. Excellencies, Mauritius strongly believes that the deepening of intra-Comesa trade and development can be a key enabler to drive our economic growth, create jobs, and bring prosperity to our people. Thank you for your kind attention. His Excellency.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellency, I have the honor and privilege of welcoming a statement from Seychelles. Thank you.
Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Your Excellency, President Andry Rajoel, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Madam Secretary General of Comesa, Ministers, Permanent Representatives, ladies and gentlemen. It is a privilege and a pleasure to address this assembly for the first time since being elected by the Seychellois people as their president back in October 2020. The first time I take the floor, but I have always followed closely the activities and deliberations of Comesa. and I have always believed in its core values and principles. Values and principles that are embedded in my government's actions, especially during these uncertain times. I would like, first of all, to thank and congratulate His Excellency, President Andry Rajoelina, the outgoing chairman of the authority, for his leadership at the helm of our organization over these years. I would like to welcome our new chairman, His Excellency, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. I assure you, Your Excellency, of our full support in the tasks ahead. Excellencies, the enthusiasm for regional economic integration has not diminished over the years. The appeal of having stronger regional and integrated economies gives us the confidence and capabilities to participate effectively in today's volatile and competitive international markets. The creation of solid partnerships between countries in a particular region and larger and more affluent markets outside our region can definitely contribute to promoting standards and create incentives for member states to work together. Comesa represents a chance for us, member states, to build on our economic and social partnerships, and this comes through our increased collaboration. Such partnerships are critical for small island developing states like the Seychelles, because they alleviate the constraints inherent to the small size of our economies. Seychelles ratified the African Continental Free Trade Agreement in June of this year, and this has generated a lot of enthusiasm from our business community. The agreement will be beneficial to us by opening up new frontiers for sourcing products at more competitive prices. Equally important is the fact that we can access a market of 1.2 billion people with a combined GDP of $2.5 trillion US. Our main export commodity is fish, and we have traditionally been exporting our fisheries products to the European market. In the absence of properly established mechanisms, exporting our fish to our own continent remained but an idea on paper. The AFTA is the mechanism which will help to transform that idea into reality. The concept and the launching of the AFTA have been rightly hailed as instituting a major breakthrough in the long and winding process towards the vision of a common economic space. The conceptualization of the AFTA has not, however, by any means resolved the many challenges that have characterized our continent's integration throughout the years. Much remains to be done. The original mandate of Comesa was one which focused solely on economic integration. This mandate has evolved over the years, embracing wider issues of development to include governance, peace and security, the environment, gender and social affairs, to name but a few. The importance of consolidating the nexus between Comesa's and AFTA's agendas cannot be overstated. It is crucial that a distinction be made between the trade aspect from the other components of our integration agendas, so that the non-trade aspects of the current regional economic communities integration agendas can be supported and maintained going forward. I have alluded to a few issues above which complements trade that Comesa has embraced under its portfolio. Comesa has rightfully come to the realization that trade will only succeed where there is an enabling environment of good governance, political stability, peace and security, and gender balance prevailing in our region. Over and beyond that, for Seychelles, it is a straightforward matter. Trade can only be realized if the maritime links, trade links that connects our region and beyond are reliable and have been properly secured. There is no doubt that regional and international trade are drivers of development, with over 80% of the world's trade transported by sea. In light of this, maritime security is of paramount importance. Excellencies, small and medium enterprises play a significant role in most, if not all, African economies. SMEs account for the majority of businesses and are important contributors to job creation and economic development. According to the World Bank, they represent about 90% of businesses and more than 50% of employment worldwide. We know that the main challenge for SMEs is access to affordable financing. In fact, and this is true for Seychelles, and it is much easier, as it is much easier for large, well-established companies to obtain loans from financing institutions than SMEs. The adoption of innovative solutions brought about by the transformation by digitally based economy is therefore of the utmost importance. This is one of the lessons learned from the COVID-19 pandemic. In order to maintain social distancing, a great many financial transactions were conducted through services such as online and mobile banking, the use of prepaid and ATM cards. E-wallets have offered welcome benefits of convenience, speed, security, and affordability that traditional banking does not offer. This innovative approach has kept many of the SMEs in the Comesa region afloat during these difficult times. I would like to commend our Secretariat for its support of these initiatives. The launching of the COMFWEB chapter in Seychelles on the 31st of August was a milestone event. My government attaches great importance to initiatives that support and empower women in all facets of life. Whilst our constitution affords equal rights to women in Seychelles, there is still work to be done to fully empower our women on the ground. The socio-economic empowerment of women benefits society as a whole. I count on Comesa through COMFWEB to support us in this endeavor. We were pleased to welcome our Secretary General, Mrs. Kapwepwe, on this occasion. It granted us the opportunity to have a cordial exchange where we outlined our respective visions and explored ways to elevate the level of our engagement in Comesa. We, the member states, have invested a lot of resources in Comesa, despite the current economic challenges. This is testament to our commitment to the values, principles, and also our belief in a strong Comesa region. We are working diligently towards ensuring that the multilateral system as a whole is credible, transparent, and efficient. We believe that we need to uphold the virtues of equity and fairness, where all members have equal rights and opportunities in our organization. And this can only be achieved through meaningful, open, and frank dialogue among us. I thank you for welcoming me into the Comesa family. I would like to wish us all every success in our deliberations. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, it is my honor and privilege to welcome a statement from Somalia. Thank you.
His Excellency, Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt and incoming chairman of the Comesa Authority of Heads of State and Government, His Excellency Mr. Andre Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar and outgoing chairman of the Comesa Authority of Heads of State and Government, Your Excellencies, Head of State and Government of Comesa members, His Excellency Musa Faki Mohammed, the Chairperson of the African Union Commission. All protocol observed. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor and privilege to be participating in the 21st Summit of the Comesa Authority, our regional organization. The theme of this summit, building resilience through strategic digital economic integration, is fitting and timely, given that our region and the African continent as a whole has one of the youngest, brightest, and most ambitious population in the world, and it will benefit most from digital economic integration across our countries. I wanted to express our gratitude to His Excellency Mr. Andre Rajoelina, the President of Republic of Madagascar and outgoing Chairman of the Comesa Authority of Heads of State and Government, and His excellent leadership through one of the most difficult periods in the organization's history. We thank you for that. In the same light, I wanted to warmly welcome His Excellency Mr. Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, President of Arab Republic of Egypt, the incoming chairperson of the authority. I'm very confident that President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi will continue to further the economic and developmental priorities in our region as we seek to overcome the setbacks caused by the COVID-19 pandemic and the climate change. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the government of Federal Republic of Somalia looks forward to the report of the chairman of council and endeavors to work with all partners toward achieving the fundamental objectives of closer economic integration to better respond to and recover from the devastating impact of COVID-19 pandemic on our people, their livelihood, and our countries and continent. The health pandemic has sadly killed many of our people and exposed fundamental weaknesses in our systems to respond effectively. However, Somalia has closely been followed recent debates of the World Trade Organization on the TRIPS waiver and is encouraging the prospect of African countries producing COVID-19 vaccines, which will promote self-reliance, but also enable our region to get our population vaccinated at the same rate as the first goal, and allowing us to effectively respond to the ongoing and future pandemics. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Comesa member economies are diverse and rich in both natural and human resources. There are real opportunities to benefit from this through enhanced and efficient intra-Comesa trade if we can successfully scale up and improve our internal policies, systems, processes, and cooperation. While much has been achieved in integration with Comesa, there is still some way to go for countries like mine, which are only now starting to return to the path of economic development after a long period of challenges. In this regard, Somalia strongly urges the Comesa membership and international financial institutions, including the World Bank and the African Development Bank, as well as the UN Economic Commission for Africa, to reconsider further strengthening knowledge exchange, capacity building, research and policy analysis assistance to Somali policymakers and trade organizations, which I'm confident will play a major role in the prosperity of Comesa and the wider African continent, as predicted by the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it's imperative that Comesa 2021 to 2025 medium-term strategic plan focuses on strengthening market integration, attracting more investment, and harnessing the benefits of multidimensional and empowering partnership, which will allow our member states to recover quickly and sustainably from the COVID-19 pandemic. It is therefore crucial that we must draw on and continue to build on our proven strength in agriculture, livestock, and minerals, with opportunity presented by the blue economy. Somalia has one of the longest coasts in the world, and it's great investment opportunity for responsible investors who want to create opportunity for themselves and establish supply chain link activities that will benefit our citizens. Capacity building and knowledge exchange, as well as effective public-private partnership, is what we need to achieve equitable economic development across Comesa member states. And we all have a duty to cooperate and collaborate to this end. The role of the digital governance is fundamental to our regional economic integration and to exploiting these vast information opportunities, and we must speed up establishing these critical infrastructure. From cost reduction in trade to easier and faster flow of information in the market, and to increase market access for small enterprises across our region. Digital economic integration will ensure a structural barrier which impede growth and innovation are removed. In conclusion, as Comesa member states, we must recommit ourselves to advancing regional economic integration, which is the best guarantor of stability, social progress, and economic prosperity for all members and our collective population, and ensuring digital and digital presentation is central to all of us. Of course, there are clear challenges as we all seek to recover from the difficult impact of COVID-19 pandemic. However, with a strategic focus on strengthening market integration and enabling partnership, I am confident that we can recover equitably as Comesa members by building resilience through strategic digital economic integration, among other key things. I thank you all for your kind attention.
Thank you, Excellency. Excellencies, please allow me to welcome a statement from Rwanda. And may I appeal that we try and keep the statements within 5 minutes. I thank you for your understanding.
Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Chairperson of the Comesa Authority, Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, Comesa Secretary General, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I'm pleased to be joining you today in this timely discussion about the use of digital technologies to foster regional integration. I congratulate His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for taking over as chairperson of the Comesa Authority. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the outgoing chairperson, His Excellency President Andre Rajoelina, for his role in advancing the organization's objectives. Indeed, Comesa did not lose sight of its agenda during the COVID-19 pandemic and continues to implement important trade facilitation programs. The approval of the Comesa online trade portal last year by the Council of Ministers exemplifies this continuity. While this is a first step towards integrating digital technologies in trade, our efforts should not end here. We need to ensure that our citizens have access to these tools. Allow me to make a few suggestions on how we can work together. First, we must foster digital literacy. In Rwanda, we are prioritizing digital economic integration and working to achieve a 60% digital literacy rate for adults by 2024. The combined efforts of Comesa partner states can act as catalysts for the continent's digital integration. Second, we need to implement policies in the Comesa bloc that create affordable, transparent, and secure platforms for digital cross-border payments by small and medium-sized enterprises. The Comesa Business Council, through its digital financial inclusion program, has already started this work, and they have our support. Youth-led enterprises account for many businesses on our continent, and we cannot afford to leave them behind. Lastly, Africa's integration agenda will be achieved by continuing to put stability at the forefront of our continent's growth and development. In this regard, I welcome the report of the 17th meeting of the Comesa Ministers of Foreign Affairs held earlier this month. Rwanda looks forward to working with our partners in Comesa to maximize the opportunities for trade and prosperity in our region. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, it is my honor and privilege to invite a statement from Malawi. I thank you.
Your Excellency, Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, the President of the Arab Republic of Egypt and Chairperson of the Comesa Authority, Your Excellency, Mr. Andry Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar and the outgoing Chairperson, allow me to say, all Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I bring with me warm greetings and fraternity from the President of the Republic of Malawi, His Excellency Dr. Lazarus Makathi Chakwera, and the people of Malawi, the home mat of Africa. Let me first express my profound gratitude to His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, for the warm welcome accorded to our delegation since we got here. I would also like to take this opportunity to commend you, Your Excellency, and your government and the Comesa Secretariat under the leadership of Madam Kapwepwe, the Secretary General, in taking leadership in organizing the summit during these difficult times of the COVID-19 pandemic. In a special way, I would like to congratulate Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, for assuming the chairmanship of this prestigious organization. Malawi has full confidence that you will steer this organization to greater heights, and therefore we wish you all the very best. Let me also convey in a distinctive way our appreciation to President André Rajoelina of Madagascar for the wonderful work done during your tenure of office. We can tell that Comesa is getting stronger and stronger in implementing its integration agenda and fostering international relations with the global world. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this summit comes at a time that is very devastating, a daunting time when the world is facing the devastating challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and, of course, the effects of climate change. The pandemic has surely reversed some of the gains we had achieved over the years in our respective countries, and Malawi has not been spared. Already, as a commodity-dependent nation, our agro-industries have shrunk, in some cases, actually closed down. We tell stories of trade routes that have slowed down in their operations because the borders were closed. Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is no secret that over the period, the Comesa's total exports to the world have actually decreased, and so has the regional intertrade operations. What is more worrying is that the uptake of vaccines in the region is currently less than 3%. We would like, however, to applaud the Seychelles, Mauritius, and Tunisia for leading the vaccine uptake effort. Therefore, as a response, we as a grouping need to develop a robust economic recovery plan. More importantly, we need to provide leadership in sensitizing and encouraging our people to get vaccinated. And of course, we can talk about climate change. We can tell of many stories of devastation and loss of life. Malawi therefore believes that the recent commitments made at the COP26 to address climate change issues will actually be fulfilled without fail. Excellencies, our region, the Comesa, has a decent population, a sizable market, and a decent economy. And I think that as a region, we need to be paying a lot more attention to intra-trade operations so that we grow from a dismal 10% here compared to 40% in North America and, of course, above 60% in Europe. Surely we can do more. Our major challenges include the lack of industrialization, existence of non-tariff barriers, transport and logistics, as well as supply-side constraints, and in some cases, cumbersome border procedures. The time has come for Comesa and the Africa region to change the state of affairs. Further, in order for us to realize the benefits from the integration processes, we need to address the impediments to trade. There can be no trade and economic integration without physical interconnectivity. And therefore, to accelerate integration, we probably need to pay attention to the following. A strong and ambitious agenda to decisively deal with infrastructure development, roads, railway, airports, water, energy, and ICT. B, remove all forms of non-tariff barriers. This is a very big cost and unnecessary. And C, and last, to improve the regulatory and business environment. Excellencies, we need to build very competitive economies. It is okay to open markets and promote reforms, but we do need to build capacities so that we produce locally and export finished products to get better returns as opposed to exporting raw materials. This summit's theme of building resilience through strategic digital economic integration resonates very well with the Africa Agenda 2063 acknowledging the importance of digital inclusiveness. The pandemic has reinforced the need and importance of providing digital solutions as the only way to create resilience in trade. I am delighted that the Comesa Authority has already started embracing ICT in its work programs. One program worth mentioning is the 50 Million Women Speak Digital platform that is supporting women to do business online. And surely digitalization can improve delivery of public services in a more efficient, effective, and equitable manner, and promoting inclusive development in the process. We believe that digitalization can also reduce illiteracy in our respective countries, and we therefore need to pay a little bit more attention and invest in that arena. Digitalization comes with its own challenges. Let me call out a few here. Number one, unavailability, accessibility, and unaffordability, as well as geographical challenges of reaching small and remote communities. Surely efforts will be made to be addressing those small challenges. Second, there is lack of basic knowledge and skills and supportive infrastructure. However, the challenges always come with opportunities. And to address these challenges, we would like to suggest the following. Number one, attract and invest in best talent. Two, prioritize development of ICT with other forms of infrastructure. Number three, encourage innovations that attract lower costs. Fourth and last, provide policies that can lower the barriers to digital transformation. Excellencies, let me conclude by saying the following. Malawi urges member states and the region to also stay alert in this digital world. There is need to pay attention to consumer protection with respect to cybersecurity in the digital economy. There is need for more capacity building to address the increasing number of attacks, the growing expertise of hackers, and the thriving black market for stolen data and malware. Ethical consideration should be put into effect. Excellencies, distinguished delegates, I thank you for your attention. Shukran. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, please allow me to invite Uganda to give her statement. And could I again appeal that we try and confine it within 5 minutes. I thank you for your understanding.
Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, our host and the incoming chairman of Comesa Authority, Your Excellency, President Andre Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar, and the outgoing chairman of the Comesa Authority, Your Excellency, President Felix Tshisekedi Tshilombo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the chairman of the African Union. Your Excellency, President Lazarus Makate Kakwera, President of the Republic of Malawi, and chairman of the Southern Africa Development Community. Your Excellency, President Uhuru Kenyatta, President of the Republic of Kenya, and chairman of the East African Community. Your Excellencies, heads of state, government of Comesa member states, Your Excellencies, Secretary General of the Regional Integration Blocks, Your Excellencies, representatives of development partners, distinguished delegates of Comesa member states, Secretary Generals of the Regional Integration Blocks. My name is Jessica Alupo, the Vice President of the Republic of Uganda, and I am standing in today for His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda, who unfortunately, due to some unavoidable circumstances, could not be here personally. I bring you fraternal greetings from the people and government of the Republic of Uganda. I also congratulate His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Republic of Egypt, our host and the incoming chairman of the Comesa Authority, upon successfully convening and hosting the 21st Summit of the Comesa Authority, Heads of State and Government. In the same spirit, let me congratulate His Excellency Andry Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar, and the outgoing chairman of Comesa Authority for successfully steering the organization for the period he has been at the helm of the authority. Your tenure as the chairman of the authority has seen the world and the Comesa itself deal with unprecedented global pandemic of COVID-19. I wish to salute all Comesa countries for remaining resilient during the hard times, and to reassure you that with the Comesa, we have one of the strongest means to bounce back even stronger. I wish to use this opportunity to commend the Comesa Secretariat for keeping the member states positively engaged during the COVID-19 period, as it enabled us to come up with coordinated measures where countries were able to address the domestic threats posed by the pandemic without weakening the fundamentals of the Comesa. Your Excellencies, we are holding today's summit on the theme, Building Resilience Through Strategic Digital Integration. This is very important. This is a very important theme which Uganda strongly aligns herself. If there has been one positive thing from COVID-19, it is unlocking the digital potential of our countries. The fact that we are holding the summit both physically and virtually is an attestation to this. Your Excellency, you will appreciate that while in the past, Africa has not moved at the same pace with the rest of the world. Now, we have an opportunity and we are better placed to move with the rest of the world. We are already making a great strides towards the wider African integration agenda through the launch of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which has the existing regional integration blocks, such as Comesa, as its building blocks. Therefore, to ensure that we have a stronger integrated Africa, we must strengthen its blocks. Hitherto, we have done extremely well in regulatory integration through, for example, removal of or reduction of tariffs, liberalization of services, removal of visa requirements in some instances, and creating mechanisms for removal of non-tariff barriers, among others. However, for us to fully harness the full potential of the integration, we must, in addition to regulatory integration, also physically integrate our countries. This physical integration will take the following forms, mainly infrastructural integration through interconnecting roads, railways, airspace, and interconnected seaports. Secondly, digital integration, including through an integrated digital integration infrastructure. This, one can add human resource development, coordinated approaches to ensuring regional peace and stability, including through joint efforts against terrorism and terrorism financing. These are important catalysts for economic harnessing of the regulatory and infrastructural integration and for private sector growth. Your Excellencies, I therefore implore Comesa and its member states to put in place very strong programs to address these strategic areas. The Secretariat can work with other regional secretariats to ensure coordination and synchronization across the continent for better results. I believe that the presence of the chairman of the African Union, as well as the chairperson of the sister regional integration blocks, is already a very good starting point in this direction. Once again, I congratulate His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, upon assuming the chairmanship of the Comesa Authority, and I assure you of the full support of Uganda during your tenure as the chairman. I also commend His Excellency President Andry Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar, and the outgoing chairman of the Comesa Authority for successfully steering the organization for the period he has been chairman of the Comesa Authority. I thank you all.
Thank you, Excellency. It is my honor and privilege to invite Zambia to give her statement. Zambia, you have the floor, please.
Your Excellency, Your Excellency, Mr. Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, our host, and the Chairperson of the Comesa Authority. Your Excellency, Mr. Andry Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar, and outgoing Chairperson of the Comesa Authority. Your Excellencies, Heads of State and Governments, Your Excellencies, Heads of Delegation present, and those connected virtually. Your Excellency, Ms. Chileshe Kapwepwe, the Secretary General of Comesa. It is an honor and a rare privilege for me to have this opportunity to represent my President, Hakainde Hichilema, President of the Republic of Zambia, and the host of the Comesa Secretariat on the occasion of the 21st Summit of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of the Comesa. My delegation and I wish to extend our special appreciation to President el-Sisi, our host, the government and the people of the Arab Republic of Egypt for the warm hospitality accorded to my delegation since our arrival in this historical new administrative capital. Let me also join other distinguished speakers in extending sincere gratitude to the outgoing chairperson, His Excellency President Rajoelina, and his bureau for the excellent leadership during the tenure of his chairmanship. To the incoming chairperson, His Excellency President el-Sisi, please accept congratulations and goodwill from the people of Zambia on your election and assumption of chairmanship of Comesa. We wish to assure you, Your Excellency, of Zambia's unwavering support during your tenure as chairperson of Comesa. We are very confident that under the leadership of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Comesa will excel to greater heights of development premised on increased trade and investment under the African Union Agenda 2063. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, in acknowledging this vision of regional and continental integration, allow me to also thank Her Excellency Ms. Kapwepwe, Secretary General of Comesa, and the entire Secretariat for the excellent work done in running the affairs of our organization, and for the preparations made towards ensuring that this summit is finally convened despite the impact and prevailing challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic in member states. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Zambia reaffirms its commitment to the ideals and principles enshrined in the Comesa Treaty, and it is our resolve to work towards attaining a regional economic community anchored on shared principles, values, and respect for agreed rules and milestones for the mutual benefit of all member states, so that Comesa emerges as a stronger building block for Africa's integration through the tripartite free trade area and the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the tremendous progress our organization has made in the areas of trade, industry, gender, infrastructure development, and agriculture gives us hope that with the adoption of digital technologies, Comesa and the continent at large is poised for greatness as a competitive region in world economic affairs. Going forward, we need to focus on consolidating these gains to accelerate economic growth and sustainable development for current and future generations. Excellencies, this year's theme, Building Resilience Through Strategic Digital Economic Integration, is well placed in light of the innovative response to COVID-19 pandemic, which has disrupted our economic trajectory as a region. We therefore need to get on board and embrace the digital economy. I am happy to note that the Comesa region has already demonstrated resilience by reorienting itself towards implementing regional programs using digital platforms, as demonstrated by the virtual participation of delegates at this summit. Your Excellencies, implementation of regional policies and programs using digital platforms will be the prerequisite to ensuring that our aspiration for strategic digital economic integration is attained. In making this call, Zambia is confident that all member states will marshal the political and economic will necessary for attaining a deeper form of integration aimed at meeting the demands of citizens in the Comesa region. In conclusion, let us all rally behind and support our regional programs with the necessary policy interventions. In this regard, our combined success will be our touch that shines a better and bright future for Comesa, Africa, and the world. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, it is my pleasure to invite DR Congo to give us her statement. If we could give it within 5 minutes, please. I thank you for your understanding.
Excellence, Monsieur Anni.
His Excellency Mr. Anjulina, President of Madagascar, and the outgoing Chairman of the Comesa, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, and our esteemed host. Ladies and gentlemen, heads of state and heads of government that are participating in this summit. Ladies and gentlemen, from ministers, Her Excellency the Secretary General of Comesa, ladies and gentlemen, and as a personal representative of President Felix Kongo, President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, and the current President of the African Union, to whom I would like to express my deep gratitude and appreciation. And in his name, I would like to address this esteemed audience. I am delighted to be in this great city of Cairo, where a very warm welcome has been. We have witnessed that as a representative of His Excellency, the President of Congo. And in his name, I am here to express a message of support to all heads of states and heads of government, African members and esteemed members of the Comesa. In an endeavor towards a positive Africa in the future. I mean, we have witnessed several great events in this great city over the past decades, and I believe that and as the Comesa and SADC have witnessed, and today as we are preparing for the Johannesburg summit for the reform of the African Union and negotiations towards establishing the free trade Africa. At this respect, the African Summit has officially greeted the three regional communities for their great achievements and that have translated towards continental integration. Please rest assured that the fact that we have responded to this invitation is certainly a firm commitment on our behalf towards Africa as a whole, but especially to the Eastern African countries. As the coordination between African Union and the regional economic communities that was in a meeting that was organized last month has highlighted the Comesa achievements in the past period, and that has also translated into a major thrive both economically and in trade, and working hand in hand with insurance and reinsurance that we have win. I can tell you that the progress that has been achieved has been reflecting on several other institutions across the region. And I would like to seize this opportunity to salute the great role of regional economic communities and in building continental architecture and that are conducive to peace and security and to sound governance. Thus, and based on our experience in this domain, I am perfectly aware that the contribution of Comesa towards establishing a free trade Africa has been highly significant. And I would like to say that, and as this comes into line with continental integration, we are now hopeful that institutional reform can happen across all countries of the African Union, and especially when as we know that more member states are willing to assume their role in a very positive manner. Hence, I would like to say that we are working towards a more positive harmonization and integration across the regional communities so that we can ensure stability and prosperity of our entire continent. And on such a note, I would like to wish success to this 21st summit, in which I will be participating as a full-fledged member as representative of Mr. Felix Antoine, President of RDC, and the current President of the African Union. I thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency, for that statement. It is my honor and privilege to invite Kenya to give the summit her statement. You have the floor, please.
Your Excellency, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, President of the Arab Republic of Egypt, Your Excellency, President Andre Rajoelina, President of the Republic of Madagascar, Your Excellency, Heads of States and Government, I bring you warm greetings from my President, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, the President of the Republic of Kenya, and the Chair of the East African Community. On that effect, I also deliver his statement. I am glad we are now able to attend this summit physically despite the earlier limitations imposed on international travel and physical interactions by COVID-19 pandemic. Coming together in this meeting allows us to deliberate on our regional integration agenda with a view to developing lasting solutions to issues that hinder our strategic goals of realizing economic development and our industrialization agenda towards creating opportunities and general wealth for our citizens. Trading between neighbors creates more social and economic gains. In our context, this means that the regional integration at various levels is the best way of enhancing inter-African trade. Regional integration will not only boost the growth of our economies, but also create a solid industrial base, and consequently overall socio-economic development of our countries, regions, and Africa as a whole. However, it's noted that Africa is not trading with Africa as much as it does with the rest of the world. From the study by Comesa, the intra-African exports stood at about $11 billion in 2019, compared to 112 billion total exports the rest of the world. This is barely 15% of total exports, compared with trade in Europe and Asia, which stands at 60% and 40% respectively. As we advance, I urge African countries to prioritize and enhance regional trade under the existing regional trade arrangements of the EAC, Comesa, and EAC, Comesa SADC tripartite, and the transformational AFCFTA. We cannot wish away the critical role played by regional integration in boosting trade and socio-economic growth and stability world over. The EAC has progressed in the integration process from a customs union in 2005, a key foundation for the community, to the common market in 2010. It has also laid the groundwork for a monetary union to allow partner states to converge their currencies into a single currency progressively. The alignment of policies, regulations, and practices in the financial sector in the region will go a long way in enhancing trade and economic growth and development in the region. These steps have played critical roles in accelerating economic growth and development in the EAC region by facilitating free movements of goods and services and other factors of production, including persons, in a peaceful and stable economic and political environment. In recognition of the role of regional integration in expanding trade, we launched the tripartite free trade area on 10th June 2015 in Egypt, bringing together the members of Comesa, EAC, and SADC, with the objective of creating a grand single market to facilitate seamless movement of goods and services. With a population of over 632 million and a combined GDP of over $1.3 trillion, the tripartite framework remains a critical building block to the continental integration under the AFCFTA. We therefore need to encourage coexistence and complementarities of the various blocks, including the EAC, Comesa, TFTA, and the AFCFTA. The realization of the tripartite free trade agreement and AFCFTA will not only create a larger single market, but also address the challenges arising from the multiple membership to regional economic communities by countries and create a wider investment terrain for investors. I encourage all Comesa member states, particularly those that have not signed and ratified the respective agreements, to do so to facilitate implementation and achievement of the intended objectives while ensuring success for the benefit of our people. I'm aware that out of the 11 members that have ratified the tripartite agreement, 8 are members of Comesa. Currently, the tripartite agreement requires only 3 more ratifications to enter into force. Today's meeting allows us to access to assess the gains we have made through the instruments and programs that Comesa has put in place. We also get a chance to discuss solutions to the challenges that have been identified while reviewing our approaches to doing businesses towards achieving a successful integration process. Going forward, and towards facilitating growth of our respective countries, we need to develop programs that enable the movement of talents across the region, enhance the productive capacities of various economic sectors, while addressing the underutilization and non-implementation of preferential trade regimes. We all know the challenges that Comesa members continue to face as they trade in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has affected the implementation of various trade instruments and distorted production and supply along regional and global value chains. This has been further exacerbated by the existing and increased non-tariff barriers that hinders free movement of goods, services, and people across the region. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has also taught us that riding on the emerging technologies and innovations, countries can achieve more in increasing their productive capacities and share of trade. We therefore need to take advantage of the community opportunities that exist in enhancing Comesa's productive capacities through the uptake of digital solutions, development, and investment in the fiscal infrastructure, and complementing these with trade facilitation measures for intra-regional trade. Embracing structural transformation through industrial and service sectors development will also enable diversification of the economies and reduce our country's sustainability to future shocks. Riding on the lessons learned from the COVID-19 crisis, we need to prioritize regional collaboration towards strengthening regional and continental value chains. The practical and effective implementation of regional integration agenda will be vital supporting our regional production network and trade. As I conclude, the immediate concern for most countries in the region, and indeed the entire continent, is recovering from the ravages of COVID-19 pandemic and saving lives by enhancing the ongoing rollout and uptake of the COVID-19 vaccine, while strengthening local health systems and maintaining effective containment measures. At the regional level, we need to prioritize building back our economies, including support to our macro and small and medium enterprises, while speaking one voice globally, including at the WTO. Intra-African trade is only pathway to realizing our integration agenda. Africa needs to trade more with Africa, while ensuring that peace and security foster a conducive environment to nurture trade and investment. I therefore encourage all Comesa member states to move fast towards finalizing outstanding works to facilitate full implementation of the regional trade agreement to facilitate the realization of our shared economic and industrial agenda. I underscore the importance of the leveraging on the AfCFTA to strengthen existing and new value chains and industrial growth, while staying alive to the increasing role of digitizing of trade, industrialization, and security. Excellencies, I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Excellencies, with the permission of the Chair, it is my privilege and honor to announce that the summit shall proceed to take a short break for 15 minutes. Thank you very much for your understanding.
رغم اختلاف اللسان وإن البشر ألوان متفرقين في النوايا والشكل والأديان لكن إلهنا واحد رب البشر واحد بالحب جمعنا أسمر وكان فنان